Hello there, Ben Bowers, the Spirit Specialist, and I am here today to talk to you about snow globes again. So we are going to look in this video at the orange and gingerbread gin liqueur that I sell in the shop from Gravity Drinks. You might have seen the video in which I did a side-by-side with the Marks and Spencer's Clementine liqueur. Not long after I did that video, another rather large chain in the UK and also Europe, and I think America as well, which is a discount chain, Aldi, also announced that they would be launching some kind of snow globe gin liqueur. It came out a couple of weeks ago. I think it was 16th of November was when it was launched. So I ended up going to my local Aldi. Took me a couple of attempts because it was selling really, really well and they never had any in stock. And I now have the Aldi, the Infusionist, which I can barely say because it's early in the morning and I probably shouldn't be drinking as it is. The Illusionist Clementine gin liqueur. So Clementine, same as the Marks and Spencer's. So let's do a side by side. Now I actually have a little bit of the Marks and Spencer's left as well. So let me just put that down so I don't drop it. Now it turns out that the Marks and Spencer's one that I bought, my mum actually wanted the rest of it. So I have decanted some of the Marks and Spencer's into there, but we will look at the actual bottle itself. So in terms of the bottle, if you can remember, and you know, you might have seen the other snow globe, the other snow globe video. This particular snow globe has quite a bright white light. This is my sample bottle, which is why I don't have that much left in it. But we have the gold flakes in. We've got the light on this, which is quite bright, really stands out on a shelf. With the Marks and Spencer's, if you did watch the video, so the bottle, I'll put a picture up of it now. Bottle is a bit plain. I don't think it's quite as interesting as this. You know, we've got sort of animals on the side and a roaring log fire that you can see through the gap. The Marks and Spencer's one was a little bit dull, a little bit one note, and the light was actually quite dim as well. Now what we have here is the Aldi version, and again, arguably even more dull than the Marks and Spencer's. So if we put the two up side by side that I've got, so this is mine, this is Aldi's. Again, snow globe shape and actual globe, whereas this is, I think it's even the same bottle shape as the Marks and Spencer's one. They're probably using the same supplier, but you've got a lot more going on in there, whereas this is, a lot of it is just kind of like some trees, it's orange, it's white, it could be easily confused with the Marks and Spencer's, which is why I think they've gone for this color scheme. Now, in terms of the light, we have that. You leave it, it does turn off after a certain amount of time. The M&S one basically did the same, but the light was quite dimmer. Aldi one, so we'll put this on. Orange, quite a bright kind of, now looking on the camera, it doesn't look quite as neon-y as it does in real life. But if you press the button again, it flashes. And you basically could put this on the front of your car and pretend that you're some kind of car recovery, motorway rescue service vehicle, because that is, yeah, I'm not liking that, to be honest. I don't think the color's great as it is, but the fact that it flashes, and it almost flashes too quick, it's like some kind of disco thing going on there. It's not great. Now, the other thing, and I only noticed this yesterday, so you might see that I've had a little bit of this already because I did want to try it, is it has this tag on it, which has got the various details on there of the Infusionist Clementine gin liqueur. Now, the Marks and Spencer's and the Snow Globe that I sell are 24 karat gold flakes in this. Because this is Aldi, it is 23 karat gold flakes. Now, whether that makes a difference or not, I've no idea. But where that extra carat's worth of gold has gone, I have absolutely no idea. So, but the more important thing to bear in mind on this. So on this, you have this. It's attached by an elastic band. It comes off very, very easily. So when I took this into the shop to put it in the fridge, I took that off, I put it in the bin in my recycling, and I put that in the fridge. Opened it, tried it, thought, oh, I wonder how strong it is. I wonder what the percentage is. Looking at the bottle, there is absolutely no detail on this whatsoever on the front of the bottle. There is nothing on the label because they have like a sticky label that goes over the top. So if I line it up, you'll see where it's supposed to go over with a bit of paper. So there's nothing on there, there's nothing on there. There is some details on the sticker on the bottom, which is where you push to turn it on and off, but, and you might be able to take if you can, take a screen grab and actually double check for me if you can, because on the bottom here, there's the instructions, There's the address for Aldi that you can send details to. Says it's suitable for vegans. A warning about keeping the button batteries away from children, etc., etc. There is no ABV statement on this bottle at all, and there is no bottle size. There is a legal requirement that you have to have the bottle size and also the alcohol content. Now, the alcohol content and the ABV, the bottle size, is on here, and I'm not even sure if the camera's going to pick it up. Where is it? It's there. So right by the hole. So I'm going to try and put this right by the camera, right by the hole, and it's so small it might not even pick it up. But right there, just where my finger is, that is where the bottle size and the alcohol content statement is put. Really, really small, really hard to find, on a paper that can easily be thrown away. Now, I'm fairly certain, and I could be wrong, and please do put comments in terms of I'm getting this the wrong way, but I'm absolutely sure that with alcoholic beverages, particularly in the UK, you have to have a permanent statement somewhere on the bottle, or if it is on a separate label, the label has to be attached so it stays with the bottle at all times. You cannot have a bottle, because technically I could go into Aldi, I could take all of these tags off, and you have a load of bottles on there that there is no indication there's alcohol in it. So therefore children can pick this up and go, oh, the infusion is small batch, oh, it's got flakes in it. Mummy, can I have this? It looks really pretty. And the parent might not know, and they might look at it and go, oh yeah, oh, it flashes as well. Has it got any alcohol in it? No, it doesn't even say gin. It's got nothing to say that this is gin on here, because all the information's on that. That says Clementine Gin Liqueur. There is nothing on this bottle at all to say what's in it. At all. There is nothing on there. And again, feel free to take a screen grab. There is no reference, that was upside down, so there is no reference on this whatsoever that there is any type of alcohol in here. There is nothing to say what is in this. So this could be mineral water. It could be, well, not lemonade because it's clearly not fizzy, but it could easily be a soft drink with gold flakes in it that kids can drink, because these have gone missing. They've pinged off. People have taken them off. They've fallen off. They've forgotten to put them on when they've actually packaged them up. So without that, I think that this is actually breaking the law. Now, I could be completely wrong, but if that's the case, Aldi have absolutely dropped one here. They really have dropped the ball, because there is no indication on this bottle, without the neck tag that I threw away and had to fish out of the recycling to get the details of it, to say that this is an alcoholic product. So not clever at all. Anyway, outside of that, let's do a quick comparison as to what they taste like. So I shall go through from the Snowglobe that I sell. I'll give you an indication of the Marks and Spencers, but if you want a bit of a, I say deeper dive, if you want a bit more of an in-depth look at that, then go back to my first Snowglobe video where I did this and the Marks and Spencers directly. But the orange and gingerbread Snowglobe Gin Liqueur that I sell, which is $24.99 a bottle. Straight on the nose, there's light gingerbread, slightly soft, slightly sweet, but not particularly cloying. The orange is very much in the background and the gingerbread is more up front. On the palate, that swaps around. The orange comes through. It's a really nice, light, fresh orange. Natural orange as well, which is good. It's quite juicy, and the gingerbread is more on the finish, and the gingerbread is a lot lighter than it is on the nose. On the nose it's quite pronounced, and you might think, oh, this could be quite spicy, but on the palate the gingerbread is much more subtle. It's much more in the background. It supports the orange flavors, and then it increases the finish. It lengthens the finish because you get that lovely soft warm spiciness. It's light in texture, it's delicate, it's very, very drinkable on its own. It's brilliant in Prosecco, Champagne, that sort of thing. It's sweet enough that you wouldn't necessarily need to add, if you were doing, say, a French 75 equivalent, you might want to add a little bit of simple syrup in, but not that much, because it has enough sweetness, but it might need a little bit of extra sweetness because it's that light in texture. But because of that lighter feel, it's much, much easier to drink on its own. It's really light, almost refreshing because of the oranginess, but really good for cocktails too. And definitely like a very versatile type of liqueur. Not sickly, not cloying, not sugary, not artificial. It's almost refreshing, but you get that gingerbread element that's very delicate, but really lengthens the flavour and really draws it out. Now, let's move on to the Marks and Spencers. So the Marks and Spencers is £20, so £5 less, but I don't think the bottle is as interesting. On the nose, so this is Clementine gin liqueur. So on the nose, it's clementines. It's starting to move slightly artificial. Whereas the Snowglobe that I sell is very much fresh oranges. This is, now clementine can be slightly sweet. It's a slightly sweeter orangey feel, which even if you were to smell a fresh clementine, it can have that slightly artificial orange squash feel to it. So I'm going to give the Marks and Spencers the benefit of the doubt and go, actually, it does smell very nicely of clementines, but it doesn't have anything else to it. We've not got a gingerbread element. We've not got a Christmas spice element. It is pretty much clementines and that's it, but it does what it says on the tin. It smells of clementines. On the palate, now we start to get into that slightly sickly, slightly sweeter, liqueur-y feel. The sugar solution feels thicker, heavier, almost like there's a little bit too much on it. Whereas the nose is very much clementine, and you do get an indication that there is some alcohol in, and all of these are bottled at 20%. The texture is a little bit richer and it's a bit sugarier. Now, some people will like that, but it makes this less versatile because this is almost a little bit too sweet to be putting in a French 75, because you literally want this and egg white and no simple syrup at all. But it might even then come across as a bit too sweet as well. The texture is fuller, which could be an advantage, but it's almost a bit too rich. It's a bit too sickly. I can imagine drinking the Snowglobe I sell quite easily on its own, at a party. Loads of people are going to go, oh, this is really drinkable, this is really nice. This is going to start to feel a little bit heavy after a while, but it's decent. It's £5 less than the Snowglobe I sell, and there is an argument to say, I get that, and it's not dreadful, it's okay. I'd rather spend the extra £5 and get much better quality liquid and a much better package fully surrounding it, but it's okay. It's Marks and Spencers. It's not as good as I would have hoped from Marks and Spencers, but it's not dreadful by any means. So let us now go to the Aldi. Let's get it flashing while we're pouring it. I can't open the lid and hold the glass at the same time. I mean, it's starting to give me a headache. I probably should have put a epilepsy warning at the start of the video because oh dear. Right, I'm gonna have to turn it off. It's doing my nut. It's absolutely doing my eyes in. Right, so this again, as with Marks and Spencers, is a clementine gin liqueur. Ugh, cork's quite stiff as well. So on the nose. Now, it's not too dissimilar to the Marks and Spencer's nose. The clementine element is there, and if anything, it actually smells slightly fresher. That clementine element is almost slightly fresher than the Marks and Spencer's. But right in the background, there is it's not quite metallic, but there is a weird kind of high note of something a little bit harsh, but it's way in the background, but it's just kind of there and not noticeable. And in all honesty, it's probably because I'm taking a very good nose of this. And let's face it, people that are going to be buying this aren't necessarily going to be buying it to nose it. This is $13.99 a bottle, by the way. So there's a slight off note there, but generally on the nose, actually, it's not too dissimilar to the Marks and Spencer's at all. Right, let's see what it's like on the palate. Not good. It starts off and it tastes almost metallic, almost coppery. If you have some copper coins in your pocket and you kind of have your hands in your pocket and you're jingling it around and then you accidentally lick your fingers, you get that acrid copper feel from licking your fingers that you've picked up from the coins. And that is the initial reaction that comes through on that first sip. Is as it hits, it's quite harsh. And then you start to get some orange and you start to get some clementine. But it then changes again halfway through the palate, and there's a weird acrid note. Now, on the little tag that should actually be on the bottle, it says, lovingly distilled in only small batches. Well, take that with a pinch of salt. This deliciously fruity gin liqueur has been given an additional sparkle, has mouth-watering flavours of sweet clementine and a juniper finish. Now, I think they are using that tasting note to mask the actual flavours that are there, because there is a sharp, almost sour, acrid note, almost metallic in there that is not juniper. But I think they're saying it's a juniper finish so that people will go, oh, that sharp bit, oh well, that must be the juniper. It ain't that at all. I'm really intrigued to know how they're making this in terms of, it's 14 quid a bottle. This is probably some molasses-based spirit that maybe has one juniper berry thrown in it so that they can call it a gin liqueur. And then God knows what flavour is in. It's so artificial. It's cloyingly sweet and it's cloyingly sugary along with being sharp and sour. And it's so unbalanced. There really is no pleasure drinking this at all. And it feels like it's got there's a really nasty, rough base spirit feel to it that cuts through right in the middle of the palate. There's fruitiness either side, which is okay, but even more so than the Marks and Spencer's, it really tastes like the concentrate of a very, very cheap orange squash. You know, like 15p for a litre bottle of orange squash concentrate. It's that really fake orange, but that really intense concentrated fake orange. But then you get this sour, sharp, metallic edge that cuts through halfway through and is there at the start as well. And it almost makes me wince drinking it, just taking it into the mouth. The aftertaste is weird. It's kind of like orange sherbet, but really cheap orange sherbet, kind of like an orange slush puppy that lingers. It feels like it's coating my tongue and not in a pleasant way at all. This is not good. This is not a nice thing to drink. Even in cocktails, you are going to end up, if you were to put this in the equivalent of that French 75, it's going to feel like you've got a nice champagne or prosecco and you've put in some orange squash concentrate. It literally is gonna do that. It's a dumpster fire of a gin liqueur. It really is not good at all. The Marks and Spencer's I can appreciate, and I think it's doing a decent job. But for 14 quid, and there'll be people that will go, well, for 14 quid, I can nearly buy 2 bottles of this compared to the Snowglobe. You can, but this is not well made. This is not a pleasant drink at all. This is not something that I would want to share with people at a party. This is not something that I'd want to take to a party and go, oh, look, you know, I've got the Snowglobe. Look at this. It's really nice. Look, it lights up. Oh, that's pretty as well. Let's try some. Oh, this is really nice. This is really drinkable. And to be honest, the Marks and Spencer's one, I think you get away with. I don't think it's as interesting. I don't think the liquid is as good. But this is cheap and nasty. And unfortunately, this is exactly what I expected an Aldi Snowglobe gin liqueur to be, which is why I bought a bottle, and that's why I wanted to do the comparison, because I wanted it to surprise me. I wanted it to exceed my expectations, which were rock bottom, and it's not. It's met those rock bottom expectations. I think just little things like the light, make the light white, because that orange is a really garish orange. There's no need for it to look that colour, and there is definitely no need for it to do that. That you're working for the bloody AA or something like that. There is no need for it to be that cheap and nasty. The liquid, they are using really inferior ingredients to keep the price as low as possible, and this will sell like hotcakes because people like cheap shit, and this is cheap shit, unfortunately. But I'm glad I had it so that I know. There are some other snow globes out there. I think Morrison's done one. I can't really be bothered to do the whole thing, but hopefully this will give you some kind of indication of what to expect. And this is very much a case of you get what you pay for. You absolutely get what you pay for in terms of Snow Globe gin liqueurs. So, as a reminder, this is available through the website, www.spiritspecialist.com. It's $24.99. I've knocked some money off it. It should be about 30 quid. It is selling like hotcakes. I don't have that many left. It's doing really, really well because it is good liquid. Lots of people that are trying it are buying a bottle straight away. It looks nice. I like the box, everything like that. The Marks & Spencer's one, I have no issue with people going to get that. Obviously, I'm not going to put an advert up for Marks & Spencer's, but it's okay. It's fine. It does the job. But I personally would rather spend the extra £5 and get something a lot better. The Aldi Infusionist gin liqueur, Clementine gin liqueur, don't touch it. It is not good liquid. And I'm going to do some more digging into this. I actually think this bottle should not be sold because I think it's illegal. Because what's on the little tag that can easily come off should be on there, which pretty much says it all, to be honest. I thought Aldi were better than that, but they've let me down in that occasion. Right, so hopefully some Christmas spirit reviews coming very, very soon because we are getting to that time of the year. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.